we've seen a willingness on the part of many of those candidates to countenance offensive views, all in pursuit of political support, and in the case of the Republican primary, in the pursuit of votes. And, I think what's particularly disappointing to many observers, including me, is that we haven't seen a significant outcry from all of the other candidates in the Republican race. And it's for the same reason, because they're chasing for the same votes. It stands in the process at the UN, and it's my understanding that, ironically enough, I actually do think that the views articulated by Dr. Carson are entirely inconsistent with the Constitution that does actually guarantee the freedom of religion in this country. Ultimately, there will be consequences, and certainly those views will be taken into account by voters. In New York, and how he's going to use that time is something that's still being discussed here. We have seen, just in the last month, in the month of August, a surprising uptick. And it still is far below the levels that we saw at the peak last year. But what is true is that it typically, in August, the numbers decline because of the weather patterns. And instead, we saw an increase. Violates Afghan law and Afghanistan's international obligations. The United States today is committing to provide nearly $419 million in additional humanitarian aid for emergency health care, safe drinking water, food, shelter, and urgent relief supplies to Syrians affected by the conflict. Values that both men have dedicated their lives to champion. And with this new announcement, the United States has now committed to provide more than $4.5 billion to help address the dire conditions inside Syria and for the more than 4 million Syrian refugees scattered across the region. We have long said that the most important contribution to address the urgent humanitarian needs of these refugees is in the form of trying to meet their basic needs. And so the kind of humanitarian assistance that the United States is providing here, health care, safe drinking water, food, shelter, this is the urgent relief that Syrian refugees need. Mindful of the resource constraints that exist.